Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday of week 10. As you see, today was 83 degrees. Yes, it was cloudy. We actually had some rain the other day. And you could see 75% humidity. That explains Liquid Awesome. It's totally... Oh yeah, what a crazy run. This week, as you guys know from Saturday, been having some leg issues. So this week is kind of recovery week for me. Nothing crazy. 23 hours. Okay. And I ran 4 miles and some change. Here you go. 4.06 miles on an 8.14 pace. The 14 seconds is only because of my warm-up mile. Oh, let's see. Did I do anything? Nope, still hanging tight there. Fine. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get my shower, wash this Liquid Awesome off me, and I'll meet you downstairs. Hey guys, good morning and welcome back. Welcome to week 10 of the 16-week marathon training program. And wow, it's really picking up speed. And of course, the closer we get to the finish line, the more the worries, the more the concerns tend to build up, especially when things aren't going right. As you guys know from Saturday, I cut my run short due to basically finally giving in to a cumulative basically fatigue or injury from prior weeks. As I've shared with you guys before about the lower leg pains, be it the anterior tibialis, this one kind of guards your shin, as well as possibly possibly Achilles tendon pains or something back there in the soleus region. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and do our daily shot of wheatgrass. And yes, once again, because of the head on this thing, I do have some extra. All right, now that we got that done, yeah, so as I shared with you guys on Saturday, I wasn't quite certain what I was going to do with this week because this is definitely not the time to get hurt. And this is definitely not the time to take off of training, especially when we're trying to bring everything in, bring everything together. However, sometimes you just got to listen to your body. I've always promoted that all along. And so this week I decided instead of pushing the distance and the speed, I was going to go ahead and at least maintain some sort of daily run, because I don't want all this progress I've been making with my body and my cardiovascular system. I don't want all that progress to be lost. And so clearly we never want that, especially unless you're in off season. It's a different story. But during marathon training, this is not the ideal time. So what I did today, yesterday I was going to run, but my body was pretty much asking me not to. And so I decided to listen to it. Today, fortunately, I got back and I did a 4-mile run. We did something a little different, no speed work this week. And I still felt some of the similar pains. And what really concerns me, and I've been doing research on the internet, I can't seem to narrow this one down. And no, I really don't feel like spending money going to a doctor to figure this or be told what the answer is. But sometimes when I'm running, my right leg gives out. It feels like just for a fraction of a moment, all the tension in your leg muscles that keep you stable during the course of the run just relax for a second, and like your knee wants to get give out underneath you. I can't put my finger on this one. It puzzles me. I just want to sum this up to just simply overuse. It's not like I was really racking up the mileage, although my mileage has been pretty consistent. I think a lot of it is just doing with the demand and the speed. Last week I did take weight. Actually, I took a leg day out of my weight training, figuring that maybe just the tension of doing squats and leg presses, that heavy load-bearing exercise, along with the constant running on, of course, lighter weight, be it myself, maybe the combination of the two were just adding to cumulative problems. So I removed that, but clearly any injury that's been caused as a result of that is just going to take time to work itself out. So real quick, I don't have a lot for you guys today. This is what today's numbers look like. Just ran 4.06 miles. Today I decided to run on pace. So after my warm-up mile, I just ran 8-minute miles. I figured this will give me at least some cardiac challenge to some without really stressing the legs too much. Spent 446 calories doing that. It was 81 degrees this morning. Yes, I think Google reads about 83, but I'm not going to sweat it. But what gets ye is this. If you guys can read that, 79% humidity. Talking about taking a shower before you leave the driveway. Wow. Yeah, you'll notice here, I definitely did not have to worry about that heart rate spike thing in the beginning. And no, I didn't even have to wet down the heart rate strap because the humidity did that for me. So I didn't have to worry about that. But at 81 degrees and 79% humidity, yeah, anybody, depending on where you guys live in the country, you know you're taking a bath when you first walk out the door. You just know this. And let alone running in this stuff. But that's all right. Once you get used to coming home soaked, and when I first do the welcome back video, oh yeah, I promise you, I'm dripping from the elbows. There's spots of water on the floor, guaranteed. So with this, let's see, you can see roughly from the blue line, after about the first mile, my pace was pretty flat, consistent, we're fine there. The heart rate, you would see, which is all in the red, from the very beginning, it slowly crept up over the distance. And I'll show you, even though what they tell you what their average heart rate is, you can see I'm cruising along about the 160, 162 range. Personally, I have no clue what this gap is for. I really don't know. Clearly towards the end, we look at the blue, there's no change in pace. And normally you guys know if I get stuck at the light, the blue turns into what this red has done. The red, I always have a heartbeat. So not quite certain what happened there. Maybe I died for a moment. No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember adjusting my chest strap. I don't, and any time, if anybody who runs with a chest strap, we know that to some degree with our back muscles, we tend to have some form of a V-type back. Okay, and so we know that with the elastic chest strap, over time they get wet and maybe the strap softens up and it's going to start sliding down the V. We just know this for those of us who run with chest straps. But you're sitting there and just kind of adjusting it, and probably you girls know this way better than us guys, but it never leaves the body long enough to create this sort of gap. So that was kind of weird. So I have no explanation for that. But looking at the legs, and remember me talking to you guys before, I think this was on my Saturday video, about my stride length being shorter at the beginning and then opening up. Here, we can see here down at the bottom, stride length was okay as long as I'm in the blue, even got to 182, but after, after about 8 minutes and 40 seconds into this, so almost after the first mile, or about the first mile, yeah, the stride length, 184, 186 at times. Yeah, it's 184, 186. That clearly tells you and I, my legs were not having a good day. I personally, because I think there's so much going on, I can't isolate it to one problem. But that sublexed metatarsal thing, now that I think the inflammation is kind of calmed down, yeah, I could sit there and actually, wow, well, can you hear this? Me pop my knuckles? Okay, just as you hear that, I could sit there and I don't know if this is ready, but all right, it doesn't have to. I could sit there and pop my metatarsal back into place, and you could hear the same loud popping noise. Pretty weird. Our feet are not supposed to do that. And so, real quick on that, I pulled up this website. No, I'm not going to put a link in it. This is just for visual or for educational purposes, you might say. But this bone here is your metatarsal, and when it becomes sublexed, it tends to drop. Kind of similar to what this picture tends to suggest. It drops, and while the picture appears to suggest pain at the top of the foot, I always felt pain up towards the bottom, maybe due to its dislocation or whatever. And so if you run your thumb along the arch of your foot here, even a healthy foot, to some degree, you'll be able to feel this spot. The rest of the stuff you're not going to be able to notice because the bottom of our feet, the skin is very thick. We have subcutaneous fat. That's the fat between our skin and our muscles. And then, of course, you have all the various muscles and tendons that make this beautiful structure of bones function as a foot for us. So we have all these things going on that basically cushion our feeling of our thumb between that and the actual bones. But this part right here can still be relatively prominent. So when it becomes sublexed, this bone drops, kind of as this picture illustrates. And what I was doing was with the bottom of my thumb just pushing up right here, and it snaps back into place audibly at that. Kind of weird, yes. But once that happens, then of course there's that, just kind of like the popping the knuckles. And those of us who pop our knuckles, you know when you get that sensation build up that feels like pressure. You just like, can you hear that? Just gotta release it. You kind of know that feeling, that sensation. Well, with this whole subluxation thing, it's kind of like that, but more intense because, of course, you're walking on the problem the entire time. So unlike our hands, where we can just sit there and crack our knuckles and be done with it, you're walking on your poor feet with dislocated bones. So you have to go pop them back into place. And of course, once they do, then of course the pain that they created slowly subsides. Now, what's causing this for me, I don't specifically know. I personally believe, I think it really is just a combination of general overuse and fatigue. That's my personal opinion. Again, between leg day, which is generally squats and leg press, and then of course going out running. The reason I believe that may have attributed to things is because normally, as you guys know, Tuesdays are interval days, be it 400 meters, 800 meters, or now 1600 meters, the full mile. I'm basically really, especially with the shorter distances, I'm definitely picking up the workload, the demand on my feet and my legs in a much more intense sort of way over a short period of time, be it a distance, but there's still that muscular tendon demand. Whereas weight training, obviously the movement is much slower, but the weight bearing is much greater. So I do intervals on Tuesday, so we have a lot of fast twitch muscles. Then on Wednesdays, I would sit there and do legs and shoulders at the gym, which is now legs, be it slow twitch muscles, but heavier weight. So yeah, Wednesday my legs are, feeling worked. So there's a sense of fatigue. And then of course, normally Wednesdays I'll do a 4-mile recovery run. And then Thursday, boom, we're beating it up back, during phase 2. It was all fartlek stuff. So not only was I pumping out a 7-mile run, but I was also doing 100-mile, sprints or strides, however you would. I call them strides only because I kind of rolled into it. But needless to say, I'm still creating that speed demand on the fast twitch of the muscle. So between slow twitch and fast twitch, yeah, they're getting extremely worked. And so that's my personal opinion as to what's caused this problem, which I'm now prayerfully I'm praying I can remedy in a short period of time so I can get back in the saddle of things. So that kind of gives you some idea on the whole subluxation thing. Back to my running. after mile 1, yes, you can see I definitely rolled into mile 1 slower than usual. But clearly, I have no trouble keeping to the 8-minute pace. Well, here's average pace. Here we go. I have no trouble keeping with the 8-minute pace. Clearly, within a few seconds, I'm totally fine with that. Average moving pace, fine. I'm not sweating that one. The last 0.06 of a mile, I'll give myself that. These two, not so much. But average heart rate. You know, while I'd like to see, I would definitely like to see this lower, especially under the weather and humidity. I'm not complaining, even on a 159 average. This last one, not quite certain why that one kicked up per se, but I'm not too worried about it. Clearly, yes, kept the strides in kind of close. Well, we already know that. Here we go, average run cadence. See, very high average run cadence for an 8-minute pace for me, and so that's that. And then of course my calorie burn, not quite certain why it was high this one, but these other two were pretty flat, but it is what it is. So that's kind of what I have for you guys today. I just brought up that web page just for the visual purpose of it. I'll be back on Thursday to give you a follow-up to see how recovery is coming along. I'd like to increase my distance, but again, I want to listen to my legs, because if they're going to continue to complain, eventually they're going to win. I'm going to lose, and I can't afford that. So anyhow, if you like today's video, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please list them below. I'll be happy to address them. Unfortunately, yes, running with injuries, nature of the beast, trying to avoid it is key. But as you guys know, for like the last 9 weeks, I've been really pushing the envelope as far as I'm concerned, as far as trying to find that fine line between recovery and maximum effective workouts. So clearly I may have tipped the line a little bit, but hopefully I can get back on the other side of it here by the end of the week. So that's all I've got for you guys today. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you on Thursday. Until then, talk to you later. Bye-bye.